Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to share my thoughts with respect to the People's Guild recent pre-proposal to introduce a significant burn that allows you to unlock Soulbound cards immediately upon acquisition. So no long-term delays, no holding them for months waiting for that to be decided, but in fact being able to pay a massive penalty to unlock it on day one if you want, and that penalty would shrink, and the opportunities to make these cards transferable would be possible for every player. Maybe this would be amazing for the game. Let's talk about it. I want to share my thoughts in depth here, and thank you to the People's Guild for continuing to support this amazing game and spark conversation with great proposals such as this one. Thank you guys. Have an amazing day. Let's get into it. I haven't seen this yet. Soulbound reward card proposal immediately and ongoing accessibility. Voting on early unlocks. Please note that this proposal is put to a vote early unlocks and not to define the parameters of said unlocks. We provided an example of implementation purely for reference. This proposal has been crafted in response to Yabamat's suggestion that during the most recent town hall, encouraging the community to present an alternative approach to management of Soulbound reward cards, and this document aims to address that call with a comprehensive plan. What's the read time on this? 3 minutes. Okay, I'm going to read the whole thing. Eliminating the exploitation of bots. One of the major achievements we've accomplished in eliminating the exploitation of the system by bots. This was a significant challenge, but through a series of sweeping changes over the last 18 months, in combination with the more recent implementation of robust battle helper identification systems, we successfully tackled this issue. I think that's fair. This milestone sets the stage for introduction of reward cards in a more secure, fair environment. I think that logically holds water. I think, first of all, the assertion that the bots have largely been held down or maybe removed is accurate. And I think, secondly, the suggestion that that we could return to a more, let's say, flexible reward card system might be logically correct. Availability of reward cards. It is crucial that the reward cards are accessible to players from the outset. I don't necessarily agree with that. And I've heard the People's Guild talk on this before. And I heard Fat Jimmy talk on this before. And it's like there's this expression of frustration because you can't get the card that other people are using against you. But in my mind, that's okay. I don't necessarily love that. But I actually like that there's... okay, how do I feel about this? On the one hand, I like that somebody can be rewarded in a powerful, meaningful way for their commitment and time in the game. And that might mean they get cards that you don't have. Because they played more, they play often, they buy energy, etc. But then again, you could go with that and say, well, I've been unlucky and I've never gotten any Izzyars in the whole time I've been playing. And I've been playing every day and I buy energy. And that's just been the bad luck of the draw. Yeah, that sucks. And so I'm not necessarily saying I fully agree with you that it's important that the player from the outset has access to all the same reward cards. I think it's okay if they don't have access. But at some point I start to agree with you because it's like ridiculous if you don't have Izzyar yet. That card's too good. And so then this part, even at high prices, while the glint shop provides some assistance, it falls short in certain aspects. For instance, players often spend 250,000 glint for 10 legendary cards after a season, yet fail to acquire that crucial meta card. Yeah, that's fair. This indicates a need for a more reliable, efficient method for players to obtain this specific card. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but I don't disagree either. I'm a little unsure because I would say we haven't had the legendary card draws for that long. If we had had the legendary card draw opportunity for the last year, I think you would see that there would have been 26 more draws, right? Because every season you get a new one that's the regular price or the cheap price. And so you probably would have had the cards you want. I think, maybe. And then carrying on, you say, enhancing the value of gameplay. The value derived from playing the game extends beyond merely earning SPS. Yes, it does. Players invest thousands of dollars in acquiring cards to compete at high levels. Therefore, the rewards investments need to be substantial. It's not enough for players to earn SPS and glint. There must be additional incentives and higher stakes involved. Players should feel that the financial time investment in unlocking these cards are justified by rewards they receive, enhancing their... I agree with your sentiment, but I don't necessarily agree with your implication. The sentiment is that people should receive high value rewards for their effort in a game. Otherwise, they're not going to put money into it. If it's a Web3, time and attention matters, then they're not going to put money in it if they don't see returns. Yes, but you are implying that SPS and glint is not a substantial reward, and I don't share that opinion. The true drive to play the game. There is a prevailing opinion that the main attraction to playing the game is the necessity of obtaining new Soulbound cards. However, the truth is closer to the fact that the game is inherently fun. Fair, which is why players continue to engage with it. If the sole purpose of playing the game is to becomes merely to collect the Soulbounds, then a deeper issue arises. The game has lost its fun. Yes, I agree. The enjoyment and the excitement of gameplay must remain at the forefront for the player experience. The thrill of strategy, competition, yeah, I agree. And ensuring the game remains entertaining and engaging is paramount to its success and longevity. I think you're saying that, we don't want the carrot on the carrot to be, hey, there's better Soulbounds, you should play today so you get the Soulbound. But I don't actually believe that's what's happening. In my opinion, the game is fun and it's fun to pursue the Soulbounds. And so I look at it as like two positives, not, one positive. And I don't really think you think the Soulbound pursuit is the sole focus of the game either. I'm not sure I entirely agree with that, but I do agree you want to make sure that the game keeps being fun. And if what you're saying is that, and I think this is part of what you're saying, if you're saying it becomes unfun, pardon me, if you're saying it will become unfun if I can't get these assets and I'm longing for them, and it's impairing my ability to have player agency within the game and play certain skill sets, yeah, that's going to erode a little bit of the fun at some point in the future. If you can't get it at first, I kind of get it. If you can't get it in the middle of the release, that's annoying and unfair maybe, but still maybe that's okay. At some point, it should be available, in my opinion. So conclusion, by addressing these key points, the proposal aims to create a more balanced approach to rewarding and the competitive environment for all players, ensuring that the management of Soulbound reward cards aligns with the needs and the expectations of the community. Okay. Instantly unlockable for higher fees and decreasing over time towards the set batch. Yeah. Okay. I don't need to analyze your suggestions to fully agree with the idea that they should be unlockable for some ludicrous number right out the gate. So what I would ultimately say is I disagree with some of your maybe underlying presumptions about how important Soulbound cards are on day one, about how reasonable or unreasonable it is to wait for them to come. And maybe I think some of the changes we've already implemented could solve some of the problems, meaning the legendary draws will begin to solve this problem. Because if you don't have Izzyar yet, and if you keep buying the legendary draws, you will get Izzyar. Mind you, we're about to cancel that Soulbound set, meaning your time is running out. If we had the legendary draws from day one, you would have gotten all the cards you wanted. That's my point. So moving forward, I don't know that we need this sort of immediate unlock thing because I think the draws will be sufficient. However, I think if we wanted to implement something like this, that's fine too. I would be super in support of this because it might mean a significant burn rate that goes toward like DC being burnt or glint being burnt at 20x the collection power. I guess that's DC. I don't see what token you're talking about there. But I love the idea of giving people opportunities to manage their economy in the realm of Splinterlands on how they attribute cards, how they buy cards, how they, good. It's another option in terms of how you access value in this ecosystem and manage your account. And it's part of the complexity of what Splinterlands is, because it's not just an auto brawler. It's also this navigating of card management, resource allocation, because no one has infinite assets. So how are you going to use the minimum, the finite resources you have access to? So I am maybe in disagreement with some of your suggestions here. I assume this is you, Jangles, but I think super well written for one. Two, I ultimately agree that this would be a good idea. So I'm for that. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. I think it was you, Paul. Yep. Thanks, Paul, for bringing that to my attention. I appreciate that.